Few people in the world have caused such a tremendous upheaval as Martin Luther. The Reformation he sparked brought about a fundamental change in church, state, and society. The starting point of the Reformation was today's Saxony-Anhalt. In this German state, Luther's sites have been UNESCO World Heritage Sites since 1996. 2017 marks the 500th anniversary of Luther's posting of his thesis, the event which sparked the Reformation.
A world had collapsed.
The medieval world came to its end, and the unitary Catholic Church was ousted. From today's perspective, we would speak of there being a pluralistic society. Suddenly, there was more choice, not only from a religious perspective, but also politically. Martin Luther was born on the 10th of November 1483 here in Eisleben. His birthplace has been a museum since the end of the 17th century. The apartment of the Luther family has been recreated on the ground floor. The exhibition tells about the reformer's origins, his father's mining activities, and the spirituality of the Middle Ages. The centre of Luther's work was not in Eisleben, however, but in Wittenberg, over 100 kilometres away. The castle church is the town's landmark. At the door of the church, Luther posted his 95 Theses in 1517, with which he protested against the sale of indulgences.
Kann man sich mit Geld freikaufen?
Can you pay off your sins with money? That is the question Luther asked, and his answer was no. It is about faith and the inner attitude, and he came to the conclusion that God is not a punishing God who wants money, but God is the loving God who accepts me as I am.
Sondern Gott ist der liebende Gott, der mich so annimmt, wie ich bin.
For over 35 years, the former Augustinian monastery in Wittenberg and present-day Luther House was the centre of the reformer's life. It has been open to visitors since 1883 and now houses the largest Reformation history museum in the world. The centrepiece is the Luther Room, which is largely preserved in its original condition. It is a convivial place where the so-called table talks took place. Here, Luther's conversations were recorded by his guests and later published. The topics were very ordinary and everyday, who has met whom where, and also profoundly theological. And that's the appeal of these table talks, the sense one gets of being in the very presence of Luther. The permanent exhibition at the Luther House recounts the life and work of the reformer. Only original exhibits are on display, including Luther's sermon pulpit, his monk's robe, numerous paintings by Cranach the Elder, an indulgences chest of the period, Luther's Bible, as well as valuable prints and manuscripts. In the St. Mary's Church in Wittenberg, Martin Luther held the Invocavit sermons in 1522, with which he convinced the citizens of the need for a moderate reformation. Here, the ecumenical services were held for the first time in German, and here Luther married Katharina von Bora in 1525. In 1521, Luther translated the New Testament into German at the Wartburg, thus making the Bible accessible to ordinary people. He used a commonly understood language and, by using a combination of northern and southern German vernaculars, created for the first time a common language for all Germans, Standard German. It was an important step towards what we call today the German language. Germany sees itself as a cultural nation, and of course the German language is an essential foundation of its culture. And this is also Luther's significant contribution to German intellectual history. Luther died in 1546 in his birth town Eisleben, a town in which he maintained close lifelong relationships. However, he was buried at the Wittenberg Castle Church, the place where Luther had previously sparked the Reformation and permanently changed the world with the posting of his theses.